Hello and welcome everyone in my YouTube channel. My name is Chandrika Pujole. Today we are going to learn hypervisor, which is very crucial topic in cloud computing. So let's begin. Here are some list of content which we are going to understand in this video. The first one is introduction to hypervisor. Second is application to hypervisor. The third is use of hypervisor. Fourth one is benefits of hypervisor in cloud computing. The fifth one is types of hypervisor, and there are two types of hypervisor, which is the type 1 hypervisor and type 2 hypervisor, and architecture of hypervisor. Then next one is the security consideration of hypervisor, and in the end we will see some MCQ question of hypervisor. Now I will introduce you with the hypervisor. A hypervisor is a form of virtualization software used in cloud hosting to divide and allocate the resources on various pieces of hardware. A hypervisor, also known as virtual machine monitor or VMM. The hypervisor is a piece of software that allows us to build and run virtual machines, which are abbreviated as VMs. Hypervisor create, run and manage your VMs. Some applications of hypervisor. So the first application of hypervisor is cloud computing. Cloud computing enables cloud providers like AWS, which is Amazon Web Services, Azure and Google Cloud, to host multiple customers' virtual machine on the same server. The second application, which is development and testing. Developer can test software on different operating system versions and configuration on the same physical machine. The third one is server consolidation. Businesses can reduce physical hardware by consolidating multiple server into virtual machine on the single physical server. Here are some use of hypervisors. The first one is virtualization. Run multiple VMs on one physical machine. The second one is resource optimizations. Efficiently uses CPU, memory and storage. Isolation. Keep virtual machines secure and independent from each other. Cost effective. Hypervisor reduces hardware and cost through server consolidation. Some key benefits of using hypervisor. First one is efficient resource utilization. Second is cost savings. Third is isolation and security. Fourth is easy backup and recovery. Fifth is hardware independence. Types of hypervisor. There are two types of hypervisor in cloud computing. The first one is type 1 hypervisor, which is also known as bare metal hypervisor, and type 2 hypervisor, which is also known as hosted hypervisor. So now understand the type 1 hypervisor. The type 1 hypervisor is the native or bare metal hypervisor. The type 1 hypervisor is also known as by both names. It replaces the host operating system, and the hypervisor schedules VM services directly to the hardware. The type 1 hypervisor is very much commonly used in enterprise data center or other server-based environments. Now understand the type 2 hypervisor. It is also known as hosted hypervisor. The type 2 hypervisor is a software layer or framework that run on traditional operating systems. It operates by separating the guest and host operating system. The host operating system schedules a virtual machine services which are then executed on the hardware. Individual users who wish to operate multiple operating systems on the personal computer should use a form to hypervisor. Architecture of hypervisor. In type 1 hypervisor architecture, the hypervisor is directly connected to the physical hardware, and there is no host operating system in between hypervisor and physical hardware, and there are virtual guest operating systems are connected to the hypervisors. And in type 2 hypervisor architecture, the hypervisor is not directly connected to the physical hardware. There is a host operating system in between physical hardware and hypervisor, and there are various operating system guest operating systems are connected to the hypervisor. Some security consideration of hypervisor. A virtual machine creates a separate world from the rest of the devices. So whatever run inside it won't mess with everything else on the hosted hardware. Since virtual machines are isolated even though one is compromised and the rest of the system should be unaffected. Depending on the type of hypervisor, security protocols and specification can differ. Now, let's come over to some MCQ question about hypervisor in cloud computing to understand that how much we have understand about hypervisors. So, the first question is what is the primary purpose of hypervisor? Here we have some options. The first option is to manage CPU usage in computers. The second option is to run multiple operating systems on the single physical machine. The third option is to manage network connections. And the fourth option is to enhance the user interface. So the correct option is B. Now come over to the second question. Which type of hypervisor runs currently on the physical hardware? Here we have four options. The first one is type 1 hypervisor, second is type 2 hypervisor, third is virtual machine monitors, and fourth is cloud hypervisor. So our correct option is option number A. The third question is what is the another name of type 1 hypervisor? First option is hosted based hypervisor. Second option is bare metal hypervisor. Third option is virtual hypervisor. Fourth option is software based hypervisor. So our correct option is B, which is bare metal hypervisor is the another name of type of 1 hypervisor. The fourth question is which of the following is an example of type 2 hypervisor? So the correct option is Oracle VirtualBox. Fifth question is what is the one example of using a type 2 hypervisor over one type hypervisor? The first option is better performance, second is direct hardware access, the third option is run within an operating system allowing easier setup for desktop virtualization. The fourth option is uses less system memory. So the correct option is C, which is run with an operating system allowing the easier setup for desktop virtualization. The sixth question is how do hypervisor improve resource utilization? The first option is by running only one operating system on each server. The second option is by distributing physical resources among multiple virtual machines. The third option is by reducing power consumptions. And the fourth option is by automatically delete unused applications. So the correct option is B. The seventh question is in which scenario would a type 1 hypervisor be preferred? So the option A is personal desktop use, option B is virtualizing application on the laptop, third option is enterprise level server virtualization, the fourth option is running lightweight software. So the correct option is C, which is enterprise level server virtualization. So the question 8 is which of the following is not an advantage of using hypervisor? So option A is increased physical hardware requirement. Option B is greater resource utilization. Option C is isolation between virtual machine and option D is simplified backup and resources. So the option A is correct option. Question number 9th. What does a hypervisor use to manage virtual machine memory and CPU allocation? So the first option is application layer code. Second option is network switches. Third option is resource scheduler. The fourth option is cloud-based APIs. So the correct option is C, which is resource scheduler. The question number 10, which of these statement is true about hypervisors in cloud computing? So the first statement says that a hypervisor makes it difficult to scale resources. Second one is hypervisor help run multiple virtual machine on the single server. The third one is hypervisor reduces the isolation between the virtual machines. The fourth option is hypervisor do not support recovery. So the correct option is B, which is hypervisor always help to run multiple virtual machine on the single server. Thank you everyone for your attention.